Hello, everyone. Today is a Sunday night, December 9th, 2018. Today, what I want to show you is to take a quick look at a chart for the S&P 500. As you can see here, the S&P 500 has been on a slight downward trajectory. As you've noticed, the S&P 500 has broken through all key technical support levels, mainly the 50-day moving average as well as your 200-day moving average. And it's not just the S&P 500, but when you actually look at the majority of companies out there, namely the FANG tech companies, those companies have been getting slaughtered in the past few weeks. Pointing your attention back to the S&P 500 is if you look at this 50-day moving average line is crossing your 200-day moving average. And this is what some technical chartists out there will refer to as the death cross. And usually when a death cross happens, you might wonder, oh gosh, what happens next? And I actually do have some statistics for you to take a look at. You can see here on the death cross table, and this is courtesy of a guy who goes by the name of Odd Stats on Twitter. He actually shows every time your 50-day moving average crosses underneath your 200-day moving average, these are your maximum drawdown over the next year. Just some interesting statistics to take a look at. So just keep that in mind. What I want to show you now is that the S&P 500 is likely to open much lower tomorrow, Monday morning. As you can see here from CNBC pre-market futures, the Dow Jones is down about 200 points. And your S&P 500 is down about 20 points. If we were to translate that into percentages, this is almost a negative 0.8% decrease that we should be expecting tomorrow market open. And the main reason for that is really the news that's surrounding Huawei. But before I really talk about Huawei, let's kind of get into about the company Huawei really quickly. So Huawei was founded in 1987. It's a technology company that mainly sells smartphones around the world. As you can see here, Huawei has about 180,000 employees in over 170 countries. In terms of revenue, you can see here that they generate about $86 billion in revenue. Now, you might be wondering, how does this actually compare to U.S. technology companies? If you actually look at Facebook, for example, Facebook is a top social media company that mainly gets most of their revenue from marketing and advertisements. So as you can see here, Facebook, they generate roughly $13 billion every single quarter, which translates to about $52 billion for Facebook, compared to Huawei at $86 billion. Now, more specifically, why the futures are down, is mainly because of Huawei. The arrest of the CFO, Meng Wanzhou. This happened earlier last week. And this actually comes right after the news of where Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping for China, where they struck a 90-day truce on December 1st, agreeing that there won't be any increase to the tariffs from 10% to 25%. So all of that was great news, and this all happened after the G20 summit in Argentina. However, right after that agreement happened, the market did rally, but we are now getting further backdrop because of the arrest of the Huawei CFO. And this is actually pretty important because some people are speculating how this actually might end the truce between China and the U.S. Some people look at this being more of a negotiating power for China. So it's just something very important to keep in mind. Now, the reason why this is such a big news is because that Huawei CFO, she got arrested mainly because of her helping Huawei sell products to Iran, and Iran is really prohibited from receiving any additional help. And the main thing we should keep in mind here is that the U.S. imposed sanctions on Iran, and the U.S. does not want anyone helping Iran by selling products to them. And when we look at the CFO for Huawei, some people are looking at this situation of overstepping the U.S. sanctions, therefore allowing the CFO to get arrested in Canada. Now, Canada has actually gotten threats from China saying that there will be serious consequences if they do not release her. As well, the latest news of what's happening in the courtroom is that Meng Wanzhou, is asking for bail, and she's citing health problems while she's in jail, talking about how she's having hypertension, and she's asking for the bail application to be expedited. So this is just something to keep in mind as we begin for the next week that's going to open. But again, I think this is a choppy time to be invested in the U.S. market. This is something for us to keep a closer eye on and really see how this will continue affecting the U.S. and China relationship. So thank you again for listening to my first video. I'll be working on more of these, and hopefully I can keep improving them over time. Really, the goal here is to be delivering real-time financial news to you in a very friendly, casual tone so that we can all follow what is happening in the market. So thank you again, and thank you for watching.